All right, class is in session. We're going to do chapter 4 from Atomic Attraction, the book by Christopher Canwell. I think it's one of the best books to teach men how to become more attractive. There's a step-by-step guide. By the end of it, you should know how to be an attractive man. And a lot of us don't know. We really don't. A lot of times we're conditioned in our society of just do the right thing, just go to school, have a perfect attendance, join the chambers of commerce, do some charity, get the March of Dimes, network, and be president of, some charity and go pet some doggies and, whatever, be a good boy and get 100 on your spelling bee and, a good girl will come. And no, we got to learn how to be attractive. So anyway, we were given false beliefs. There are certain things that women like and there are certain things they don't. So this is a step-by-step guide. Once again, I am retired 4 years from the Houston Police Department, did 22 years with them. I got time on my hands. I want to teach men how to have better relationships. And one of the best books I learned was Atomic Attraction by Christopher Canwell. You can pick it up on audiobooks or on Amazon, and you can figure out how to be more attractive, or just listen to me, because since I have time, I want to help men that don't have the time to, make notes and stuff like that. So anyway, once you go through all my videos on this, you'll know how to be an attractive guy, and you'll get girls just like this chick on the TV there. Motivation. So chapter 4 is to shave or not to shave. Nothing makes her purr like a face full of fur. Unknown who said that, but it's a quote somehow. Anyway, and it's true. Women are intrigued and captivated by men who sport facial hair. It might sound superficial, and it sounds superficial that the presence of facial hair is that will make a man more attractive, but we are superficial though, and we don't realize, like, I could go clean shaven, or I could have facial hair. She'll like me either way. No, some will like you with it, some will like you without it. Probably more will like you with facial hair. A study published in the Evolution and Human Behavior journal, their findings were facial hair has a dramatic and positive effect on a man's appearance. Men with heavy stubble or a beard were not only rated more masculine and assertive, they were also rated healthier and more attractive. See? Stubble, heavy stubble, 10 days. 10 days is about, the peak of attraction, allegedly. Also, a study comprised of 351 women said that heavy stubble is the most attractive facial hair men can grow. This is about 10 days. See, like I said, 10 days worth of growth. That was a study with 351 women. Researchers at the Evolution and Ecology Research Center also made a note that facial hair is not only related with masculinity and strength, it is correlated with a high rate of dominance and assertiveness. So, that's what they're going to assume, right? What is it about facial hair? Well, it just gives women those cues. They're those, shortcuts to see if you're healthy, have, testosterone. Facial hair is a shortcut, There's a case study in the book where Gary's clean shaven his whole life. He's kind of a handsome dude, pause. But, he gets sick and he has to take like a month off of work, and he doesn't shave. And then he goes out with a group of friends right before he goes back to work, and some ladies start paying him more attention. So he always thought that his clean shaven face was the best looking face. And it turns out, because he got sick, he found out that the women liked the heavy stubble, So that was just kind of a case study in the book. So that just a summarize of that, Masculinity signals dominance. Facial hair signals dominance, masculinity, and strength by the presence of testosterone, okay? And I'll go back into that. Nice guys have a fear that growing facial hair, and remember, women don't like nice guys, makes them look rough and disheveled. If you are thinking along these lines, keep this in mind. You must project masculinity and strength at all times. Facial hair is the easy way to do that. That is so true. Masculinity, testosterone, much the same way. Okay, so, facial hair is kind of the way to project masculinity and strength. That's what women are always looking for, and often much in the same way that a peacock fans out its tail, right? Because women are able to see, oh, he's got a pretty tail and he's healthy. Now, let's say another peacock does it and his tail's not like colorful and it's not big, and she's gonna be like, oh, he's sick. I don't want him, right? And it's just a way for them to kind of tell. They can't sit there and take samples from your blood supply and then go take it to the lab, and I'll finish with this. And that's the thing, guys. Women are always looking for those good gene markers, right? And let's just say, because that's what their body is doing, and that's what all of us are doing, right? If we want to know if a girl's fertile, we want young, and we want attractive, and we want thick hips, a big booty, right? Just kind of playing a little bit. But so let's just say that the cartels, put a gun to your head, right? And said, and there's some dudes right now, you got to do this because they're going to kill you. They're going to shoot you right in front of your family. You pick the guy with the best testosterone, right? Well, you can't, let's say they gave you a choice of, taking a blood sample and do it. Now you can, okay, now you're going to figure it out. You're not going to get shot, right? Okay. Now, scenario 2, you got to figure out which guy has the most testosterone. Let's say 10 guys, right? And the Mexican cartel got that gun on your head, and if you pick the guy with the, with the most testosterone, they'll let you go back to your family, who's like, pick the right one, Bobby. Okay, so what are you gonna do? You're gonna look at the guy with big shoulders, strong jawline, big brow, nice facial hair, That's what you're gonna be looking for, so they won't shoot you. Well, that's what women are doing, because women can't take samples from guys knowing which one's more healthy and which one will give them prettier babies. So they use things like facial hair, your broad shoulders, your jawline, your brow, your thickness of muscle, your skin health. That's why having a good diet, getting good vitamins, using skincare, getting good sleep, taking vitamin D, getting sun, so you look healthy. That's what women want, healthy, okay? Anyway, guys, that's chapter 4. Told you I'd do a chapter every day. This is a step-by-step guide on how to make you more attractive and get this girl right here. And we'll see you on the next one.